Hello everybody, it's Miss Jessica from 𝘧𝘊𝘮𝘮 𝘧𝘊𝘮, and I'm here with Lorax. She's right here, and I've also got Harper right over here. You might hear her in just a moment. And we are going to be continuing our chapter book story time, Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library by Chris Gravenstein. And I wore my special lemon shirt today because we're going to finish the book. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see who's going to win. Charles is still waiting for his uncle to help him out with the clue, but I think Kyle and his friends have all figured out the clue. So they've got to figure out how to escape now that they've put all the clues together. All right, so let's not waste another second. Let's get started. Okay, so chapter 54. On the first floor, Charles was at long last video chatting with his uncle James 𝘧𝘬𝘮𝘮 III, the Librarian of Congress, who had finally shown up for the Ask an Expert call. Sorry for the delay, Charles. That's okay, Uncle Jimmy, Charles said, straining to smile and not scream. The time is now 11 a.m., announced the annoyingly placid lady in the ceiling. This game will end in 1 hour. Charles had to hustle. Sir, I know you are a very important, very busy man, so I just have one quick question. If I were a book on true crime in the state of Ohio, where would you shelve me? Library of Congress classification? No, sir. Dewey Decimal. Ah, easy. 364.1. What comes after the 1 will depend, of course, on how many books a library. Charles didn't stick around to hear the rest of his uncle's answer. He took off running for the closest spiral staircase up to the second floor. As he ascended the steps 2 at a time, he saw Kyle Keeley and his entire entourage running down a staircase from the 3rd floor. Charles reached the 2nd floor balcony first. He darted around the bend, past the door to the 500s room, the 400s. Keeley and his crew were coming from the opposite direction, but Charles reached the door to the 300s room before them. He swiped his library card, yanked on the handle, and dashed into the room. He scanned the shelves and headed to his right. He heard Keeley enter the room. Glancing over his shoulder, Charles saw Keeley go left. Charles dashed up an aisle between bookcases. He read the number at the end of each row of shelves. 310, 320, 330. One of those robots with the book baskets came rumbling across his path, but Charles was able to dodge it. 340, 350. Kyle's footsteps pounded up the passageway on the other side of the shelving units to his left. In the middle of the 300s room, they entered an open space with a judge's bench and a witness box. Charles was getting closer to the true crime section, but so was Kyle. Charles saw Keeley reading something off his palm. He had the whole call number. It was time to change tactics. Charles hung back and let Keeley take the lead. Kyle rushed toward a bookcase. Charles sprinted after him. Got it! Kyle shouted as he reached for a book on the shelf, but before he could completely pull it out, Charles grabbed hold of the book too. They both yanked it off the shelf. Kyle had the spine. Charles had hold of the top. They tugged it back and forth. While they wrestled with the book, Keeley's teammates caught up to them. Careful, Kyle, said Sierra Russell. Don't hurt the book. Charles grinned. Keeley, the sentimental sap, was listening to the silly, bookish girl and easing up on his grip, giving Charles his chance. He body-checked Keeley, slammed into him with his shoulder, sent him flying, the book tumbling. Charles snatched it off the floor. He had the book. He quickly flipped through the table of contents, saw Chapter 11 was about a robbery at Gold Leaf Bank in Alexandriaville. He knew he'd won the game. Charles used his free hand to slap an L on his forehead. Loser, he sneered at Keeley. A tiger roared, a whistle blew, and Mr. Lemoncello entered the room, accompanied by Clarence Clement and what looked like a rare Bengal tiger. Mr. Tillington? Charles smiled. He knew it. Mr. Lemoncello was about to congratulate him for defying the odds and winning the game. He had single-handedly defeated Kyle Keeley's entire team. Yes, sir, Mr. Lemoncello. Do you remember Dr. Zinchenko's #1 rule? You bet, sir. No food or drink except in the Book Nook Cafe. No, said Mr. Lemoncello, touching the tip of his nose and making a buzzer noise. Dr. Z, tell him what he should have said. Dr. 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂's voice purred out of the ceiling speakers. Be gentle with each other, and most especially the library books and exhibits. I know, said Charles. That's why I had to stop 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂. He was ready to rip the cover off this poor book. Heck, sir, everybody at school knows that 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂 is a maniac. He'll do anything to win a game. Mr. Lemoncello turned to Keeley. Is that true, Kyle? Would you actually destroy property if it stood between you and your prize? Well, sir, Kyle was stammering. The fool didn't know how to lie. Charles quickly opened the book to chapter 11 and slipped in his library card to bookmark the location. You should ask Keeley about the window he broke, sir. Mr. Lemoncello turned to face Charles again. The window? Yes, sir. The whole school heard about it. See, 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂 and his two brothers were playing some sort of wild scavenger hunt game, and Mr. Lemoncello pointed at the book. That's clever. You use your library card as a bookmark. Oh, yes, sir. I sure do, said Charles, turning on the charm. Of course, I can't take full credit for such a clever idea. On Friday night, I saw Sierra Russell doing it, and you told Andrew Peckelman to borrow her card. Charles blinked several times. I beg your pardon? You broke Dr. 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂's #1 rule. You were not gentle with your teammate, Andrew. In fact, you bullied him into stealing Miss Russell's library card, which you knew she always used as a bookmark. No, sir, I did not. Yes, Charles, you did. Mr. Lemoncello touched his right ear. In fact, Dr. 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂 has spent the past few hours combing through security tapes, and guess what she just found? Charles heard his own voice ringing out of the ceiling speakers. Have you noticed what Sierra Russell uses for a bookmark? No, that was Andrew, said Mr. Lemoncello. This is you again. Her library card, which of course doubles as a key card for meeting room B. Find a way to borrow it. You told Andrew to steal Sierra's library card? How could you record that, said Charles. I was whispering. And I have very good microphones. You're done, Charles. Dr. 𝘧𝘳𝘮𝘂, tell our departing guest what he just won. Absolutely nothing, said the voice of the Russian librarian. But please, Mr. L, tell Charles the correct answer to the final pictogram. Ah, yes, said Mr. Lemoncello. He reached into his back pocket, pulled out a 4x4 card, and showed it to Charles. Oh, and it was when they were dining at the tables. Charles stood there fuming. Anyone care to help Charles out? Said Kyle. Is it 6-8? You are very close, said Mr. Lemoncello. There was a pause, and then Haley laughed. Did it come after the football player? Yeah, said Charles. So? Andrew was right all along, said Haley. The football player clue wasn't passed, it was 19. Mr. Lemoncello shifted into his game show voice. So, Haley Daly, would you care to solve the puzzle? Sure. You can walk out the way bandits crawled out in 1968. I don't get it, said Charles. 1968, said Akimi. You know, 1968. Ah, yes, said Mr. Lemoncello. The year from the mixed up files of Mrs. Baisley, Frank Weiler won the Newbery Medal for excellence in children's literature. Another clue you completely missed, Charles. Wow, said Miguel, and I thought Chillingtons never lose. There's a first time for everything, said Mr. Lemoncello. Clarence, Clement, kindly escort Mr. Chillington from the building. Bye-bye, said Akimi. There goes this game's biggest loser. Chapter 55. Open it, said Akimi. We only have like 40 minutes to figure out how Loblolly and the Dandy Bandits crawled into the bank back in 1968. Kyle flipped through the True Crime Ohio to the place where Charles had slipped in his bookmark. Well, said Miguel. Chapter 11. The Dandy Bandits burrow into a bank vault. Even though thou should not steal, said Akimi. And I bet they crawled in, right, said Haley. The clever thieves, Kyle read from the book, took up residence in an abandoned dress factory next door to the Gold Leaf Bank and spent weeks tunneling from its basement into the bank vault. Which, said Miguel, according to those old blueprints I found, was down where the book sorting machine is now. That explains the first clue, said Kyle. The book title was Get to Know Your Local Library. Dr. Zinchenko meant we needed to get to know this library. This also explains why she wanted us to read those Sherlock Holmes stories. The Adventure of the Red-Headed League, said Sierra. The story about robbers tunneling into a bank from the building next door? Kyle nodded. Dr. Zinchenko told me she had just reread it. I bet that's where she got the idea for the whole game. Hey, Charles should have stuck with crawling through sewers like he did in that video game, joked Miguel. He might have found the Dandy Bandits tunnel before we did. Come on, you guys, said Haley. We need to get back into the basement. I'm coming with you, said Mr. Lemoncello. I just have to see how this story ends. Clutching the true crime book against his chest, Kyle led the way down into the stacks. Why are you bringing the book? Asked 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮. We'll put it on that conveyor belt thing, Kyle explained. Whatever basket the scanner sends it to, I'm guessing that's where we'll find our black square. Our shortcut out of the library. Exactly. As the team trooped up the steps to the basement, Mr. Lemoncello turned to Kyle and said, So, Mr. Keeley, did you have fun this weekend? Yeah. Good. Congratulations, Miss Hughes. It seems you have already won. 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮 sort of blushed. What do you mean? Asked Kyle. In her essay, your extremely good friend wrote, and I quote, I want to see the new library so I can tell my friend Kyle Keeley how cool it is. You wrote your essay about me? Maybe, mumbled 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮. Wow, said Kyle. No one's ever done that before. Well, no one's ever going to do it again if you blow our chance at winning this thing, so can we please stop yakking and find our way out of here? Works for me. Warning, said the calm voice in the ceiling speakers. This game will terminate in 30 minutes. Everybody moved a little faster. Fortunately, when the group reached the basement, the floor-to-ceiling bookshelves didn't start sliding into another maze formation. The automatic book sorter is straight up this path near the far wall, said Kyle. They made it to the conveyor belt. From what I remember from the old blueprint, said Miguel, the vault is right here in the same spot as this machine. Okay, you guys, said Kyle. Whatever the robo basket this book ends up in is probably sitting right on top of the entrance to the tunnel. Here goes everything. Kyle placed the True Crime Ohio into the array of crisscrossing beams. Nothing happened. What's going on? Cried Miguel. Why isn't it working? Maybe this book isn't heavy enough? Kyle pushed down on the cover of the book a bit. Still nothing. They stared dumbfounded at the book sitting on the immobile belt. It wouldn't stop moving yesterday, muttered Haley. That's it, cried 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮. She hurried to the wall and flipped the emergency shutoff switch back to the on position. Several red laser scanners sprang to life under the book drop slot. The belt started moving. Slowly. The single book worked its way down the line like a candy bar on a wrapping machine. When it reached the third robo basket from the end, a set of rollers popped up and shunted the book off to the side into the waiting wire basket. The conveyor belt stopped rolling. The robo cart rolled away. Nothing else happened. That's it? Warning, said the calm voice. This game will terminate in 20 minutes. It didn't work, said Haley. We're toast, added 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮. Wait, said Kyle, pointing to a square tile on the floor where the robo basket had been. It was glowing like one of the touch screen computers in the desks upstairs. It says, Howdy, do you like fun games? Get ready. Excellent, 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮 giggled. Then she and Kyle cracked up, remembering the box tops from their first puzzle in the boardroom on Saturday morning. Now it says we're going to get an anagram, said Kyle. My favorite kind of cookie, said Mr. Lemoncello. Okay, everybody, said Kyle. Gather round. Get ready. Kyle, 𝘓𝘓𝑦𝘮, Sierra, Miguel, and Haley knelt on the floor in a circle around the square. Mr. Lemoncello hovered behind them. Here we go, said Kyle, as game instructions scrolled across the screen. Give me 16 words made up from these 16 letters in 60 seconds or less. A 60-second clock popped up on the bottom of the screen, and then a 4x4 boggle jumble of letters. Here's what they look like. Luigi L. Lemoncello, mumbled Kyle. The 60-second clock started ticking down. Sierra shouted out, "Lemon!" And a ding sounded from the speaker above. The 5 teammates started shouting out words. Cello, eon, elm, lion, mole, leg, oil. 30 seconds left, said Mr. Lemoncello. 1, cell, cone, loan, Glen, lime, mole? We already said that! Melon. That's 15, said the voice in the ceiling. 10 seconds left. Anybody? 5, 4, Colonel, shouted Haley. The computer screen flashed. Congratulations and winners! Somewhere a game show audience cheered, fireworks rocketed, whistled through the air, and several geese honked out a hooray. Please stand back, said the soothing voice in the ceiling. Kyle and his teammates did as they were told. Warning, the voice continued, this game will terminate in 15 minutes. We still need to get out, you guys, said 𝘓𝘓𝘮. Hurry, Floor, do something! The 8 tiles surrounding the glowing tablet also started to glow. First yellow, then orange, then purple. Our secret square, said 𝘓𝘓𝘮. There was a series of clicks and the tiles began folding up on themselves and retracting into the floor, opening up like an origami trapdoor. Look, said Haley, there's steps! Mr. Lemoncello peered down into the hole at the well-lit staircase and tunnel. My, Dr. Zinchenko has certainly cleaned things up since Mr. Loblolly was here. Of course she did, said Haley, so we can walk out the way bandits crawled in 1968. Hurry, everybody, said Mr. Lemoncello. I don't want to be late to my own birthday party. Chapter 56. Kyle led the way up the tunnel and brought his team, plus Mr. Lemoncello, into an empty basement filled with mannequins and cardboard boxes. This must be the cellar of one of the clothing shops in Old Town, said Kyle. The fitting factory, said Haley, reading a tag on a shipping crate. It's one of my faves. And, said Sierra, back in 1968, it was the real dress factory that Leopold Loblolly and the Dandy Bandits used. There's some steps over here, said Miguel, climbing a wooden staircase, and a door. He jiggled the knob. Aw, man, it's locked. Kyle looked up at the dingy casement windows, about 10 feet above the cellar floor. He couldn't help grinning. It reminded him of another game he'd won once. This time he'd just have to reverse things a little. Help me drag over a couple of cartons, Kyle said to Miguel. We can stack them on top of each other underneath this window. After they built a step unit out of boxes, Kyle climbed up and examined the window latch. Great, he said. Don't tell me, said 𝘓𝘓𝘮, another game? Yep, there's a combination lock. The kind with 4 wheels of random letters. Warning, said the voice. What? Said 𝘓𝘓𝘮. Dr. Zinchenko put loudspeakers in this basement too? This game will terminate in 4 minutes. Yo, open the lock, Kyle, said Miguel. Hang on, it's some kind of word game. Is there a clue? Asked Haley. Of course, Kyle read the tiny slip of paper taped to the glass. Once you learn how to do this, you will be forever free. Everyone started laughing. This last puzzle was ridiculously easy. Ready, children? Mr. Lemoncello said. Mr. Lemoncello, all together now. And they all shouted it at the same time. Read! Kyle thumbed the wheel to spell R-E-A-D. The lock clicked, the window opened, and this time he didn't need to shatter any glass to win the game. Kyle and Mr. Lemoncello stood on top of the highest box and helped the others up out of the basement. When Haley crawled through the window frame, someone in the crowd that had gathered around the library for the game's big finale saw her and started screaming, Look, it's Haley Daly. She's the first one out. She won with just 2 minutes to go. Nuh-uh, Kyle heard Haley shout in her perky cheerleader voice. I'm just one member of a super amazing team. We're all winners. Woohoo! When 𝘓𝘓𝘮 climbed through the window, the crowd chanted her name. How do you people know my name? Kyle heard her say. Dad, did you tell them? Sierra Russell was set to crawl out next. Mr. Lemoncello? Yes, Sierra. What time does the library open tomorrow? For you, Sierra, 9 a.m. Smiling, she stepped into their hands and climbed out the window. Kyle felt bad when Sierra stood up on the sidewalk. Who was out there to cheer for her? But then he heard Haley shout, "Hey, you guys, you gotta meet our amazing new friend, Sierra Russell. She's so smart, and she could tell you who wrote the phone book." The crowd went crazy. "Sierra, Sierra, Sierra." "Okay," said Kyle. "You're next, Miguel." "And Miguel," said Mr. Lemoncello, "if your summer schedule permits it, I'd love you to head up my team of Lemoncello library aides." "Thank you, sir. It'd be an honor." "And please invite Mr. Peppelman to join you." "But Andrew thinks this library is stupid." "All the more reason for him to spend time getting to know us a little better. Now off you go." They gave Miguel a boost up and out the window. The chanting outside grew even louder. "Miguel! Miguel!" "You guys," Miguel shouted, "the library is like a good book. You gotta check it out." The crowd laughed. Kyle groaned. "You're next, Mr. Keeley," said Mr. Lemoncello. "Okay, can I ask one last question?" "Certainly, and I hope it won't be the last." "Are you really going to put all of us in your television commercials?" "Oh yes, you'll be quite famous." "Cool." "Indeed. Who knew spending time in your local library could be such a rewarding experience?" Kyle smiled. "You did, Mr. Lemoncello. And now you do too." Kyle put his foot in Mr. Lemoncello's hands and grabbed hold of the window frame. "See you at the birthday party, sir." "Oh, yes. And you know what, Kyle?" "What?" "There might be balloons." The end. Wow, that was amazing. I'm so excited that Kyle and his team worked together to win. And Charles finally got caught for all of his dishonesty. So what a great ending to this book. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'd love to hear if you had a favorite part or what kind of puzzles you like to do for fun, and if you have a favorite thing to do at the library. So I really hope you enjoyed this. You'll have to stay tuned to see what we're going to be doing in the future with our chapter book story time. Don't forget, you can always find our amazing resources at _EVPL.org. We have some great digital resources there. We also have EVPL Library, our YouTube page, and you can always find us on social media where we post all kinds of amazing fun things for you to do. And I'm very sad that our chapter book of Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library has ended, but you never know what may be coming soon. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the book as much as I do, and I hope to see you again soon.